Welcome to the Teambuildr onboarding video. This video is going to give you your basics on how to navigate Teambuildr, how to log your weights, and how to check your progress and get the most out of your training. So to begin, you should already have joined through easy join code from your coach. For some reason, if you do get logged out, you will get back to this screen here. You're just going to select login, put in your email, hit next, then you'll enter your password, get back in. You do not need to use the code again. Once you create an account, you're all set. But if you do get logged out and you don't remember what your password is, just go ahead and hit forgot password. You're going to put in your email. They'll send you a link to figure that stuff out. All right, so once you log in, you should be able to see your workout right away in the main screen. If you don't see it, click the weight icon in the bottom middle, and that should get you up to this screen. It'll show you what you have going on for the day that you're on. Some of the programs may be 3 days a week, so if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you're currently looking at it on a Tuesday, you might say there's no workout for today. You can simply just go over to the next day to see what you got going on coming up. This is the basic layout. So most of the programs will be broken up this way. So we have a warm-up block here consisting of 4 exercises. We'll see there's 2 A's and 2 B's. We're going to complete them as a circuit. So we're going to do the A's together. There's 2 sets of 20 reps, 2 sets of 10 reps. So I would do 1 set of 20 with the low pogo hops. Then I move on to the deep squat hop forward for 10 reps. Then I go back up to the low pogo hop again, and then the deep squat hop. And then I would move on to the B's. Now, if you didn't know what any of those are, let's say we didn't know what the low pogo hop is, we could click on that. Now we're able to see set 1 is 20 reps, set 2 is 20 reps. And we see this play button up at the top. That's actually going to load up a video of how to do the exercise. So if we click on that, the exercise will come up, we could press play, and we're able to see we get a little example of what the exercise looks like. Now, some exercises will have a complete button where we're just completing, we're just checking off that we did it. Other exercises will have options to add in weight. So here's an example of an exercise that has weight listed where we can plug in our weights. You're just going to select the weight that you're using. So for example, if you grab 20-pound dumbbells, you're just going to put in 20. Whenever we have something that has to do with a barbell, you're going to have to do a little math. So you're going to add the bar, which is typically 45 pounds, plus whatever weight you put on top of that. So let's say we put a 10 on each side. It's going to be 65 pounds total. That's what you would enter in for the weight. As we talked about before, it's broken up into blocks. So we have a warm-up block here. Then we have a conditioning block, and then we go into a strength block. Ideally, this is the flow of the workout, so we would want to complete it in this way. Just because that's the ideal way doesn't mean that's the way that is going to work best for you. So just try to complete it the best that you can in that order if you can. Some programs you might see this note button here. So we see tempo run week 1. So if we click on that note, it's actually going to bring up some basic instructions on how to complete it. And if you go through and you read this and you're still not really understanding or unsure what to be doing, then all you need to do is shoot me a message and we'll be able to talk through it and figure it out. Now back to the logging of weights. Anytime that we log weights, Teambuildr is going to save what you do, and we're going to develop a working 1 rep max off of that. So if you see in the video square, in the bottom left corner of that, we see max 168. So that's based off of numbers that I've inputted into this training plan that spits that number out for me. And you'll see some of the programs have weights already assigned for you. And this is just going to be a good guide for what weights you should be choosing, especially for the beginning and even some of the warm-up sets. So for this one, we can see that our first set begins at 120 pounds, but it's in a dull gray. So if I were to do that, I'm going to actually overwrite into it 120, and I've already done 5 reps. So now it's saved. So in this light gray, it means it's not saved. When it's white, it's going to be saved. This is just a good guideline. There's obviously days where things might feel a little bit heavier or a little bit light, hopefully more so on the light side than the heavy side. And you have some freedom to be able to add a little bit of weight. That's especially the case for these last sets where the weight is not listed. So if we did our third set at 135 pounds and we did 5 and we were like, wow, that was not really challenging, we have the freedom to go up and maybe go to 145 or 150 or 155. And we can adjust the weights from there. Say I did 155 and I actually only was able to get 3. I could click that and it's going to save that for me. And then we see that this bottom, this last set has an AMRAP. So this is as many reps as possible. So I'm going to log in a weight that I think I could get as many reps as I can. Usually there will be a note of how many reps you should be aiming for. If there isn't a note, then it should be somewhere around the reps that you have been doing for that set. So in this case, it would be somewhere around 5. So I might choose, if I did 155 for 3, but I know 135 felt a little easy for 5, then maybe I'll go 145 and I'll try to get as many as I can. Let's say I go through and I get 6, I'll just type in 6 and that'll save for me. What's also great about this app is the history button. So if you look at the bottom right corner, we see like a little clock with a counterclockwise arrow. We can select that. And we're going to be able to look back at all the times that we've done this exercise and see our progress. This is why it's especially important to log your weights so that you can see your progress. Us as a coaching staff can see your progress and we can evaluate if the program's working and what we need to do to move forward. As you can see, I've done this exercise a few times and we're able to go back and see where I've started out. And what's nice is I've used this for my own training and I can go back and see, okay, I was doing 115 for 5. Now I can come back to more present time and I can see I'm doing heavier weights for more reps. That's based off of just looking back from week to week and trying to outperform what I did the week prior. Now, say for whatever reason, maybe you have an injury you're working with, there's limited equipment, limited time, whatever. If you need to make an adjustment in the actual exercise, you can select the opt out in the top left here. So we click opt out, and then we're going to choose a reason. So let's say maybe just didn't have the access to the equipment. We have this next section that says substitute with another exercise. So this will actually bring up exercises that are similar to the one that you're trying to opt out for. Ideally, this is like our best plan B. But if you still don't have anything that fits these exercises, you can also go to all, and then you can search whatever exercise you're looking for and plug that in. Let's say you're not sure what one of these things is. Let's say this 3-position ISO overhead press. I think I want to do it, but I'm not sure. I could click this arrow. It's going to bring up the video of what the exercise is. I'm able to get an idea before I select it. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. I can do this, and then I can move on. Now we also have the option to communicate through Teambuildr, which you likely have gotten this from. So there's a messaging system. You can just click message. If you have any questions for me, feel free to send that, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can and hopefully answer whatever questions you may have. And another useful tool here is the documents and links section. So this will be in these 3 dashes in the top left. If we click that, we get this side menu here. We can click on documents and links, and then we have some educational stuff if it's something you're interested in. Perhaps you're looking into more mental performance, we could select this Osprey Mind Gym materials. And what we have here is we have a list of books and videos that may be helpful for you, as well as some documents that will talk about dealing with setbacks. So we could click on this and we can see kind of how we can reframe setbacks. We also have a pregame mental routine. So if you need something to kind of get your mind right before a game, we have this document here to kind of help you with that. In addition, we also have some strength and conditioning education stuff. So if we click on that tab, it's going to give you a couple of different things. We have some conditioning tools, which is going to break down kind of ways that we can get into game ready shape. We also have a nutrition guide. If you click on that, it'll open up a whole nutrition guide for you, kind of help you make better choices about your nutrition and fuel for performance. We also have a document for recovery, which has some recovery tips. And then we have strength and conditioning basics. So if you're looking to learn more about training in general, you could click on that. There's a ton of information. As always, you can always ask me as well.